Hey, what's up, everyone? I thought I'd make this video for the average person to help the average person because, well, I did a bunch of research as I usually do, and I found that the average person doesn't actually have a budget. Less than half people have a budget, and a lot of people who are younger don't have a budget. So what I did is to show an example was I found what the average rent for a two-bedroom was in Canada. I'm in Canada, obviously. I found the gross salary, the salary after tax. I did British Columbia for the tax because, well, it was kind of in the middle in terms of like how much it actually deducted. So I just did that. Found all the monthly expenses for everything, right? And I wanted to see how much everything costs. So that's where this number comes into play. E2 to E8 has all these numbers here, right? And there's no particular reason with the colors. I didn't even realize that I had different colors, but yeah. Um, the thing here is I calculated the monthly total and the net of what you come home with after taxes. Like, this is your money. And then I calculate the leftovers doing that, and that's what this yellow is here, not the utilities, this yellow. And this total graph is your total monthly net because all those numbers added is basically the leftovers plus all your whatever, right? And I wanted to kind of break it down in a way that a lot of people would see. And generally, a lot of people don't have a budget, and I'm trying to show this for what the average person spends, what the average person earns, and what the average person has to actually play around with. And the thing that I found was the average person has about five. Let's say you have $600. Maybe you don't have debt, then you have a couple hundred extra bucks, or let's say you have a really efficient car. Whatever, things can change. You might make a little bit more, but this is just the general rule of thumb, just to kind of get you an idea of what the average person can do, right? The average Joe, I called him, doesn't take care of their finances, doesn't look after their money, and doesn't have a budget. Now, I'm not saying you need to track every penny, but I'm saying look at where you're spending your money, look at how much money you have at the end of the month, and if it's nothing, or if the number doesn't really change a whole lot, yeah, that's when you need my help. That's when you need my help because I'm I'm very helpful in terms of a lot of ways when it comes to money wise. I'm not a wizard. I can't just snap my fingers and boom, you're a millionaire. But I can shift you in the right direction and then just tell you to start running and you can do it. Like if this average Joe character wanted to save 250 a month, they can because when you break down the numbers, I can show you the results that you can get, right? And if this person wanted to, let's say, save 350, boom, see everything changes, right? This isn't something that you have to worry about. I can set this all up, and this is every little thing that goes into your monthly, well, your monthly life, I guess I could call it. And your savings and your leftovers are the kind of two that you can play with. You can't really play around with your rent or transportation or utilities as much as you can with your leftovers or pleasure expense, whatever you want to call it, in your savings. These two things is what you really have control over, or the most control over, I guess is a better way to put it. And if this person wanted to save, let's say, $1,000 a month, they can't do that with the amount of income they have, right? And it's really sad to see because a lot of people don't actually have the ability to save enough, right? Like if this person had an extra $400 in rent or something, their leftovers and their savings would be a lot tighter. It'd be a lot smaller. Or, let's say you have that and you're very strict. You have to. I know it sounds terrible, but when it's uncomfortable, that means you'll change. When things are too comfortable, you won't really change. And my whole point is to not make it uncomfortable where you'll change your savings plan or change your budget. I want your budget to be comfortable, but I want your income, if it's not enough, to make you feel like it's uncomfortable. Like let's say you, as an example, came to me and let's say I'm just gonna put this down to 50, right? Let's say you're coming to me and you say, hey, my income's not that much. It's only 3,500, or let's do 3,300, right? Let's say you only come home with 33 a month, right? And you're like, dude, I need some serious help. I don't have a lot of money to work with, right? Now, investing is all relative. If I have $1 million and I invest it and I make 10%, okay, I made a lot of money. If I have $100, yeah, I still made, let's say 10%. 10% is not a lot of money when you really think about it on $100, $200. It's all relative. But if I doubled your money, it'd be great no matter what, right? So let's say you're getting into the stock market or you're getting into crypto or whatever you're getting into, let's say, right? And you spend, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes a day on it on average, just looking at it, trading, whatever, and you only have a couple $100 to play with. You're going to have to find some pump coin, or you're going to have to make some big trades. You're going to have to get some high risk trades because high risk, high reward. But doing that consistently is not going to really benefit you. While you can get lucky, you can also get unlucky. It's just equal and opposite force. So if you wanted to, let's say you come home with $264 a month, right? And you're like, that's not bad. But if we go back to 3,800, right? And you want to play around with 50, you still have 700. Let's say you want to put in 750 into your savings and you want to play around with that on the stock market. You have $60, which, you know, let's say you can keep to that. $750, right? Let's say you're going to play with that in the stock market. That is enough money that you can actually start making some big returns, because if you made 100% return on your money, another $750, while that is, yes, a month of your savings, that's $750. That's like that's almost your entire rent it could cover, right? That's more than your utilities and almost your debt covered, right? So it's kind of, you know, you have to see that if you want to start making a lot of money and you can't, let's say with your income, obviously you can only earn so much in your income, firstly. But if you can squeeze out a little bit more income, like earned income, that's good. And then you can start saving a little bit more because of that more earned income, right? Then you can start saving, and then you can start investing to then have your money work for you. And then that money essentially earns you money while you don't have to be there clocking in. That's the only difference. And I see a lot of people struggle with that because they think, oh, I need some more money, so let me just work some more. Yes, that works at the start of the race. I guess the race of success is what I would call it. That works at the start, but it doesn't always work. It kind of does, but it doesn't work well. It doesn't work consistently. It doesn't work like it's scalable, right? If you save $750 a month and you earn 10% on it, okay, you made $75, right? But if you had, let's say, 10 months of savings, and you earn 10%. Oh, I just made 700. I just made a whole month out of 10%. Whoa, right? And then you put that back, and now you have 11 months. You make, I think it's $825 from that. Boom, you now made $800, right? You can see that investing and savings work only if, not really allow them to, but more of you put in the effort for them to work. Because if you have, I guess a really good way is look at different index funds where there are a bunch of different companies, right? S&P 500 is a good one. The S&P 500 doesn't go up by 200%, 300% a year. It goes up by 4 or 5%. And it almost never goes down because, you know, prices go up. But if you really wanted your money to not only beat inflation, but earn a little bit extra on top of that, you kind of need a lump sum, you know. And I'm not saying you need to be Donald Trump and get $1 million or Warren Buffett and play around with millions, but I'm just saying to start having your money work for you, you need a good amount of money. It takes money to make money, right? And you'll only see a fraction of the money you put in while also keeping that money that you put in, right? That's the key to investing. It's time in the market, not timing the market. And I feel a lot of people struggle with that. And I know that kind of goes off a little bit, but this is what the average person needs to hear, because the average person doesn't even have a budget, which is scary. And the average person who's around my age, I think it's something like 3 out of 10 people actually have a budget. And a lot of people who do have a budget don't know how to make one, and don't know how to follow it. That's where I come in. I know how to make you one. If you just give me the numbers, I'm like a calculator. I'll spew out the answer. I'll spew out the answer that you need to hear, or the path that you can follow with this budget, or whatever your goal is. I can tell you if you can get there with this certain income or the certain job or certain hours that you're putting in. I can basically be like the truth you need to hear, or the answer you can't find. That's my help. That's what I can help you with. I can't make you into some mogul millionaire or a billionaire, but I can definitely tell you if you're on the right path, or if your path is going to be too slow, or your path is too, risky, or whatever. I can just basically be the answer, the clarity that you need. And without it, you'll see there's a lot of problems that you'll end up facing that honestly you just didn't need to face.